Hello there. How are you all? This is Dr. Rao Kurusu coming to you live on several channels. Uh, I was wanting to do this talk on enhancement as a human being, which I do in different pieces of it, like enhance your body, enhance your emotional quotient, EQ, or enhance your intellectual quotient, or spiritual quotient, or enhance your mind, and enhance your perspective, consciousness. So, different aspects I talk about quite a bit, right? But what I wanted to focus on is how can you do it in a systematic way whereby you can really see the effect in your life, in the way you conduct your relationship, in the way you use your health services, in the way you have the energy to do things, so many ways, right? So I was doing a small series on this. I started with the body. Body obviously needs to be healthy and not having any disorders. And fundamentally, we want to eat better, enhance our nutritional knowledge and how we take in the food and all that. That's a separate chapter anyway, very important aspect, and then people have to do it. And then we get to really be active and exercise a little bit too, right? That's all we all know about it. So we'll enhance our health and energy and capacity to work, everything when you exercise and keep our bodies in fit, right? That's an enhancement of the body through exercise too. Like that, there are so many aspects, as we all know, so many lifestyles, so many variations of lifestyles that we do. They can either really make us sick and deplete, or they can make us much more vigorous, much more improved. That too. One thing that bothers me is a lot of people don't realize what the potential that is in that, and how they can give it a shape. And by just being aware of what they can do, uh, they will be able to do much more. Sometimes you just have to attempt it and do it, and then discover that you are really doing these things in a way that is really helpful to you, right? So that's why I started a series. I'm going to do a series of posts and talks like this, to really share with them what is that I'm doing with people who come to me who are stressed out or burned out, or they may just ask me a few questions. They may not come to me to do a regular sessions or courses or anything like that. But as I talk in the audio rooms here or LinkedIn or any of the channels, right? Um, Mostly Wisdom and Clubhouse and LinkedIn. These are three channels that I on. I don't go to Twitter audio spaces that much. I just went a couple of times just because one of my friends called me. Otherwise, I don't. I'm not used to that yet. Maybe I will go there too. But basically, all the questions that I get is kind of starts with the self doubt, kind of starts with some things we are, maybe we are the age, or maybe we don't have the capacity or resources or any of those things. So finally, people are identifying with their limitations that either they have imagined or put in there by the parent or friends or society, whatever, or they themselves might have picked up unknowingly as they are growing up. But once they are out of their own way, their own limitations, uh, lots of times they do lots of things that they never thought that they will be able to do. That is like you have the potential inherently in there, but you just need to bring it out and really take out all the limitations that you yourself are putting on you. So there is a great saying in yoga I picked up very early, where we don't want to deal with the limitations as much as we want to deal with the possibilities, they said. The possibilities are endless, and the human beings have no limit for the possibilities. Obviously, right? So many people discovered so many things. Then it kind of helped us to really go after that potential that otherwise we thought we would have it. And once somebody achieved like how many minutes it took to run, or the sound barrier, or any of those things, physical and imagine, and also psychological or spiritual. So many limitations we live by, and we don't really examine them whether they are something surmountable or not. See, and then we see that in the ancients, because they were more focusing on their internal abilities, internal strengths, internal releases, they were able to do much more in their life, but that was not really perceived by several people, right? They don't really understand what is the turning inward and finding out your own capacities, potentialities, right? That's what I want to bring notice to this modern man who, uh, in my experience and opinion, I've seen people depend too much on the technology or too much on the other people, or all the circumstances have to be ready for them before they attempt something that they could. But as a human being, if you realize you have the best computer in your head and you have the abilities that are innate with you, and by practice you can get a lot of things accomplished, then people will be much more encouraged. I came to this point out this because most of the people who are burning out, which is what I'm working on all the time, to help people to really come out of the burnout, because where the burnout is, where they are turning their own thought and feeling against themselves, and then thinking they're not worthy, or they are not able to do something, or they don't have any will to do their job, or in extreme cases they want to end their life. There are so many doctors, close to 500 maybe. I think they died last year because of the suicidal thing, more than maybe. But it's keep on going up. Um, then if you look at it, it's all based on what they're thinking about themselves, or they had an image that they developed and that was nurtured by everybody around. And when they are going negative instead of positive, they don't know what kind of things they would have to really attempt to improve, right? So that kind of thing was happening all the time. When I saw that, I thought I will mention some basic thing to profound things if people are interested. But these have to be taken care of by each person on their own, not imposed by somebody else. Okay, they have to discover on their own and pursue them on their own. Those methods are there from the ancient to modern people. There are so many positive psychology, positive reinforcement, so many things are there. But people uh, don't really know how to keep their thoughts under their control. So I was going to be very simple on this, just concentrate on how do you enhance your body by taking good food, by doing the proper things with the nutrition, and exercise and make the body strong, flexible, and really resistant to a lot of infections, because you can nurture your immunity much better than what we are doing. Very simple, basic things like that. And then you can look inward. How do you feel? What kind of heartful things you have, and what kind of things you can cultivate, like a random act of kindness, compassion for everybody, or inclusiveness for everybody, all that. That I'm going to discuss in the next post. I will be posting tomorrow. And then you turn to the mind. How are we thinking? How are we understanding what's the process of thinking? What are the uh, obsession about the thinking? Are you free of the thinking, or are you controlling the thinking, or thinking is controlling? That is the question, right? Then most of the people feel like I don't have any control over the thought. It comes and goes. It goes at the speed of the wind, and I don't have any capacity to do anything about it. Totally wrong. You can thoughts happen to you. Thought is an instrument that you could use, and once you understand that, you will be out of that faculty and also manage the thought much more efficiently, much more beneficial to you. Actually, that's a big deal, because if you can liberate yourself from the hold of the thought, that's a big deal. You can have peace right away. You don't have to do anything at all, because the thought quiet, and then you can operate from the silence using the thought whenever you need. Rest of the time you can be in the silence. That is something is not like an extraordinary thing. Anybody can do that. But we are doing so many things to keep our active thought activated more and more, and so people think that they don't have any control of the thought. Okay, so but that's not true. That's a capacity we've misunderstood also. And so things like this, body, heart, and mind, and spirit, and all those things, examine slowly. I will do a series of posts on that. Look out for them. And if you have any questions, anything that you want to contribute, you are welcome to send me DMs or come up on the rooms here and talk to me about it too. I'm sure you have been doing some things to enhance your body, your mind, and your heart and your spirit, right? So we are all together actually. We don't have separate parts like that. But then to understand, to have a practical frame of network where you can work on each one. Like for example, you how you eat, how you exercise will influence on your mind. How you rest and sleep will influence on the body too. So it's all one unitary organism that has a body, that has a mind, that has a heart, and that has a spirit, which is the conscious being. If you establish in that, then you can manage all these tools of you, the thought, the body, the emotion. All these are tools for you. Instead of being dominated by them, you can be really observe them and make them come under your control. Okay, lots of people don't even have time to listen to this, but if you listen to your own inner voice, to your own inner chattering, your own debilitating feelings, and then do something about it. You don't need to see the therapist, you don't need to see the gurus, you don't need to see any of the so called miracle workers. You can really have a life that is empowered from within and live in a uh, much more freedom and joyful living, right? It's not like you are slave with somebody, or you are slave to your own ego, or you are slave to your own negative emotions and all of that. You see, there's so much we know about all this, but why are we continue to eat processed food? Why are we continue to eat stale food? Why are we eating without understanding what is a fat in the diet, and then what is psychology plays a role in your dietary system? Like you can be bulimia, anorexia, or you can be obese, and all those things are there, right? So lots of them are related to the diet that you do. So if you can understand the latest findings in the nutrition, nutrogenomics is there. So according to your genomics, they can prescribe diets for you that are compatible for you. So instead of just being blind and eating whatever that comes our way when we are hungry, you can spend some time proactively and plan good nutrition, and also at the same time enjoy that, savor it. But don't make it a psychological problem, right? We all know about that. How about exercise? We can turn out the world class, the best athletes, and we know all the uh, way that we can repair quickly the bones, or we can fix the fractures, and then we can also make them very, very athletic so they don't get hurt that easily. Even if they hurt, we can bring them back very quickly. There's a lot to borrow from the ancient wisdom on that revamping. recouping from injury, from disease, and all that. That's where I bring in the ancient wisdom to help the chronic disease, to make it much better on the human being recovering from that. It's not like now chronic disease means they end up in the nursing home, they become vegetarians. And it's very painful to see them once you go there, just existing because of all those medications. And then they don't have any quality, they don't have any joy lots of times. They try to create that, nursing home people, and family also try to come and to their best ability. But generally, old people I saw in America, they suffer a lot. I maintain you don't need to do that. Okay, you can be natural, you can be really eating good foods and then exercising and able to participate and being a meaningful work or something that is important for you. All those things can be done. Just because you're old doesn't mean you have to stop living and having things in a moderate way, right? So that's what is happening with the body. And with the heart, as we talked about, people live in a really not heartfulness, but more like a very clever, very intellectual, and very much erudite and all that. They quote everything, but then they don't check whether they behave in rhythm with that or not. That kind of thing. Anyway, that's a big chapter too. So you can also understand how to be loving. Instead of asking for love, you can give the love and be the love. Okay, in your own mind, in your own thing. If you don't think ill of anybody, if you don't think ill of anybody negatively, that itself contributes a lot. And then once you understood your feelings and how to direct it, how to make a more loving atmosphere around you, that's very, very healthy for you and for the other people who are around you, family, workers, and all that. And then, of course, the mind. There is so much misinformation or ignorance about this in modern times. Even the whole field of psychology and all of that, they're going towards the positive psychology. It used to be that they used to identify people by what kind of disease they have, and the stuff was ignored. But now we will treat those things with the medications or whatever means we have developed. But then what about the people who are worried well, who are really don't have any capacity to not to react to very simple things in a major way? Whatever the people who are turning really depressed because small things are not accomplished, like a school child doesn't have good marks. I was told by my cousin's daughter, she got 92 out of 100, and they were yelling at her. She did not get 95, 96. So that is how the parents have become now in India too. And so I was looking at that and say, why do they have to take out the kid? Because she did well, but then a couple of marks they wanted more because they want to have a commercial progress in the child, and that's why they were upset. They don't care about how they are hurting the child, they're just yelling at her. So, okay, so I've seen it with my own eyes, that. So those kind of things. So this series is going to be very practical thing I want to present, and maybe give some explanation of why I'm talking about these things. But if somebody has a different perspective on this and want to come and talk about it, be my guest, and I'll be happy to see you come and discuss, and we will examine that too. But we had a lot to borrow from our ancients who were quiet in their mind, very peaceful, serene, and non reactive to lots of things, and always trying to help, not asking for help, always being loving, not asking for love. So, those simple things, if you really cultivate, there will be peace, at least among our family members and friends and the people we know. That's what I am privileged to experience is wherever I go, it's all peaceful. Even though world events and all those things, I'm very much in touch. But when I go to any place I work or any place I visit, my family and all that, because I am quiet inside, surroundings also don't really evoke any reaction with me. At least I am peaceful, and lots of times people approach and talk to me in a peaceful manner. Even if they want something differing opinion, they can come and talk to us. There's no problem, And but the way we approach even the hospital codes, somebody is coding and then they will die within a minute if we don't do things very fast. So at that time, what we do is intense but no tension. Be in that state and work, then you will think clearly and you will also help the victim who needs more help. So that kind of training, that kind of understanding, that kind of need for cool heads is very much needed all over the world. We know that. Okay, so that's something we would concentrate on that. So I just wanted to introduce the topic here and then see whether people are interested in this in a particular way. They want to know any particular aspect of this enhancement of human being to the core from inside out. What is that people have done, what is that they have to sacrifice to achieve this kind of inner peace and quiet and happiness. If people wanted to practice, there are ways to learn about that. We can also talk about them too. If you are interested, that's fine. If you are not interested, uh, too bad. So it's a question of understanding this not from an angle of religion or from an angle of certain groups of people or politics or anything like that. Just understand plain old human being and really think through them, investigate them, and find out the truth of the matter. And then once you have done that, be on that sincerely. That's the most difficult. People think and go and they don't want to think about that. And then they want somebody else to tell them, just do something. I may do it, I may not do it. I may not even listen to you. So that is the prevalent trend. But then you are going to invite suffering in so many ways because you chose to be ignorant of what is going on. So people may believe their religion and follow that. That's fine. That's their personal thing, right? So what I am saying is not the religious uh, rituals, but not the blind faith, but intelligence and asking good questions and learning things. And then out of that investigation, insight into things, you will have truth felt. You feel the truth, and then the truth operates within us. Okay, so that's what I wanted to talk about today. And anybody else wants to come up, that's fine. Otherwise, I'll be closing this. I just want to announce this room tomorrow at 2 o'clock. I'm going to do a LinkedIn live on this topic, and I invited some of my guests, my friends also. So I will be doing that at 2 o'clock Central Time. That will be like an hour long at least. And we'll see how that goes. And then I plan to do series of rooms where I will be asking people to come and participate in that, and we'll see how that goes. Okay. All right. Anybody wants to come up on the Wisdom app or on the Clubhouse? You're welcome to come. Otherwise, I'll be closing in a few seconds. Um, All right. So I think I introduced the topic. I don't want to go into details of each one, but as we open up, and we can go as long as they want, as long as deep as they want, and then spend some time and share whatever I appreciated and whatever I have adjusted and changed. The main thing is don't go for the limitations, go for the possibilities. If that is accomplished, I think we will go after the possibilities with confidence and really enjoy life like an adventure. you know, and then at the end of it, if you really fulfill, you feel much better, I think. Okay. All right. Thank you for joining me. I think I spoke nearly 25 and some minutes. I think that's enough for the introduction. I was planning only half an hour anyway. So thank you very much, and I'll be seeing you again tomorrow at 2 o'clock on all the formats. Bye bye.